Okay, England, Italy at Twickenham to close out this weekend of the Six Nations. It's finished 47 points to 24 to England. It was 21-17 at half time to England. The first half was really entertaining, very open. Both sides were trading tries for fun. Some of the best tries I think we've seen in a while scored. The Italians, they can attack. Second half, England come out the blocks firing, blitz Italy really quickly with three quick tries, and then the match loses a lot of energy, it loses a lot of intensity, it meanders aimlessly, and this is a criticism I have of England. Even going back to Eddie Jones, is they would lose control of a game, and it would just the intensity, the focus, and the structure of the game would disappear. But overall, a much better performance by England, and also a much better performance by Italy, even though they didn't get the try bonus point because they only scored three tries, not four. As I say, the first half was really entertaining. Tom Willis starts the try scoring after just 4 minutes with the quickest try of the tournament so far. But that lead doesn't last. England fly out the blocks, as I say. It takes less than 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 7 seconds, but it's 4 minutes officially, to score the first try. Finn Smith has a brilliant game with the boot off the tee. And, England are flying out. They are flying at this point. Italy are struggling to stay in there. And then with Italy's first attack 10 minutes later, Capuozzo, his try. This is brilliant vision because England have had all the ball, all the territory, much like Ireland yesterday. A lot of the ball, a lot of the territory. Have only got the 7-point lead. That kick over the top is brilliant. That is great vision by Ioane to see that there's the fullback isn't there, and there's spacing behind the winger. Chip it over. Capuozzo has had a brilliant game today in defeat, and that is a well worked try. In fact, that's a better try than Tom Willis's try, in my opinion. And suddenly the game is tied again. And it would be tied until the 27th minute when Tommy Freeman gets his try. And, we're seeing just try for try at this point. There are momentum swings constantly. And England back into the lead again. And again, not for long, because the Ross Vincent try comes from a brilliant line break by Capuozzo. There's a mark being called, they kick it, they don't find touch, and Capuozzo just runs through the England defence. Great line break. Ross Vincent, great support play by the number 8. And you're thinking he's going to be run down. He's a back row forward. No, he doesn't need to pass the ball. That is probably the best try of the game, is Ross Vincent's try. But it's the run from Capuozzo, the line break, and how they just get through that England defence far too easy. And that is on 31 minutes. Ollie Slightholme gets his first 2 tries. He's now scored more tries than his father did as an England international. Spreading the play. England are not kicking as much in this game. They're keeping the ball in hand and they're going through the phases, something they didn't do last week against Scotland for lengthy periods, and it's paying off. They were keeping the ball alive and they go from one touchline to the other, and Slightholme gets his first try in 35 minutes. And bearing in mind, Finn Smith is converting all these and Garbisi's converting all of Italy's tries. Garbisi would have a penalty on 38 minutes to finish the scoring for the first half at 21-17. So it's been a breathless first half. England were the better side, but there was those 2 tries they conceded. The Capuozzo line break for Vincent's try, that would be really annoying for Steve Borthwick and the England setup, because apart from Capuozzo's try earlier, they hadn't been broken defensively. There was a good contest. Both sides want to keep the ball in play, but there hadn't been a real glaring defensive lapse. That was a glaring defensive lapse. And so Italy are in this game. This game is not easy for England, although England are playing better than they did against Scotland. They're keeping the ball in hand a lot more. Italy are also playing better than they did against France, and they're in the game. However, the second half starts and England blitz Italy really quickly with 3 quick tries from Marcus Smith, Tom Curry and Ollie Slightholme to blow the lead out. They just blow the lead out really quickly. 21 points scored really, really quickly. 3 converted tries between 44 and 53 minutes. And that is where the game is won. And at this point, England, could run up a cricket score. And this is a criticism I have of England. Is that they get into a position like this where they're in a comfortable position. They've gained control. And they allow the intensity and the direction of the game to disappear, and they allow their intensity to drop, their focus to drop, And this is where a lot of silly errors, like a lot of silly knock-ons, a lot of silly breakdown penalties, line-out penalties, just little things creep into their game around the 50, 60-minute mark. This is normally where the substitutions are being utilised. And this is an issue that goes back a long way with England. We're talking back to Sir Clive Woodward. This has been an ongoing issue for 20 years, where at this point in the game, whether they're winning or losing, they're normally in a very strong position, and then they just allow the intensity and the focus to wander. And I've noticed this a lot with certain teams, and in general as well. And they're in control, but they're not, giving that killer blow. Italy is still hanging in there. And then there's some sloppy defending for Tommaso Mencello's try. Very similar to the line break that causes Vincent's try. Italy are keeping the ball alive. They are still trying and get as many points as possible for that points differential to avoid the wooden spoon, because Wales have bonus points, whereas Italy don't, even though Italy have won a game. The run by Mencello onto the ball, which is key here, that pass is a nice flat pass at pace, and that run from deep, the gap between the defenders is too big, and no one touches him. And I know he's just catching that ball 5 metres out, but there's no one lining up. He's come from deep. This is a deep inside centres run, and he hits that ball at pace. And Italy had worked hard and stuck in there and kept trying. The 3 quick tries at the beginning of the second half had sort of killed them off, but that was a good try on an Italian standpoint. Frustrating for England, because this is where they had allowed that intensity and that focus just to disappear. That was a defensive lapse. Yes, there's been a lot of substitutions coming on off the bench, and therefore that does disrupt flow a little bit, but they've got to be better at switching on, and they switched off defensively, and that was a well taken try. Garbisi converted that one. But then right at the death, Italy are pushing for that bonus point try. They turn the ball over, and Benno gets his try right on full time to finish the scoring at 47-24. What we can take out of this: England look better when they keep ball in hand than when they're kicking game. I think they look more comfortable ball in hand. Kicking is part of the game, but their kicking game right now is not great. Keeping ball in hand and keeping the intensity up, they look good. The one issue, Ollie Lawrence has gone down with what looks like an Achilles or a calf issue early on in the first half, hence why Marcus Smith was on the pitch a lot earlier. On the Italian standpoint, I do think they're going to cause Ireland problems. Ireland do look vulnerable. I don't think this is a given for Ireland in Dublin. And there is the potential for an upset. Italy, when they attack, can be quite threatening. The 2 tries in the first half proved that. I mean, their first attack, they get a try, and that line break by Capozzo, finding a defensive mismatch far too easily in the game, and far too early in the game, in my opinion, for defenders to be that exhausted, and support running. They were willing to, they're not afraid of dying of trying, basically. They will throw the ball around. Some of their handling skills were really, really good. They were willing to chance their arm in the first half. But again, both sides' game management could be better. England, this is an ongoing issue with England, but every test side, I think, when the substitutions and the replacements come on, as we say, around 50, 60 minutes, that can disrupt the flow. Some teams are better at managing when to bring replacements on and when to change things tactically, better at managing that intensity. England, it's a problem. It is a problem. They got to that point after 53 minutes where they had just blitzed Italy. They were 40 points to 17. They're comfortable, and then it all just goes a little bit off the boil. And sloppy try conceded towards the end. They won't be happy with that. They won't be happy with the line break that led to Italy's second try. However, a much improved performance. Italy, a much improved performance as well. And it's going to be interesting what England do against Wales and what Italy do against Ireland in the final weekend. I think Italy will challenge Ireland. Ireland look vulnerable. In England, they need to play like they did for the first 50 odd minutes for the entire 80, and I don't think Wales will stick with them in that regard. I think they have enough to really put Wales to the sword if they focus for a full 80 minutes, because it's not a given in Cardiff. They have to actually turn up and play. But there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts on the game in the comments section below. Be very interested to hear what people thought of it. But there we go, England 47, Italy 24. That's the final score. Thank you very much for watching. That's goodbye from me. I'll have some more content for all you guys and girls very, very soon.